Hello, YouTube. Please do give me a second. Okay, I can't go on Facebook, but I will go here on Instagram. Hello, everyone. Please give me a moment here. Hmm. Hi, people. Give me a second. Let me set up Instagram and YouTube. I am learning this process, so it definitely takes me a minute to put it together. So please do forgive me. It seems we are live. I hope YouTube is hearing me. Let's see. I can hear myself. Okay, how do I not hear myself on YouTube? Chrissy Warrior Queen, welcome. I'm driving myself crazy here. Okay, I think I put the volume down. All right now, and then this thing is private on YouTube. Hi, Maisha. Welcome. All right. I have no idea what's going on. I'll leave it like YouTube like that and then figure it out later. Rich Rising, Grand Rising. Welcome. I am driving myself crazy a little bit on YouTube. We have to laugh at ourselves, guys, right? We have to laugh at ourselves. I'm going live on YouTube through Zoom because for some reason, all these past days, YouTube was not able, the people on YouTube could not hear me. Okay, so that's on there. I'll see when somebody comes on YouTube if they can hear me. But welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me put my, it's my sage. Right. We align together. We are doing this together. We are here together. I woke up today, fired up, very much happy. In Garho, my hand, quite excited to be there. Our wake up and wind was beautiful. Everything we did today was beautiful. And then I went on Twitter because I love Twitter and I spent a lot of time there. I am in a community called Black Twitter. And one of the ladies, wonderful Black woman who uplifts Black woman, posted about this guy who I actually thought he was doing great work, wonderful work when it came to money, was talking about why men don't want to date Black women. And that triggered me so much, right? So we have to see that the things that trigger us. And for me, it gave me content today because I'm talking about shadow work. Some people know what it is and some people don't. If you know what it is, that's wonderful. If you don't, please put in the comments that you don't. And then I'll go deeper into it. As the topic says today, is shadow work, journal prompts for healing. right? And I had to do that shadow work, and also understanding that a lot of people, regardless of their color, we cannot just base it on color anymore, regardless of their color, against the Black woman. But we are the God, we are the divine. What exactly is shadow work? Yes, 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 yes. I actually need more people like you, Maisha. I need more people like you in my lives. And you are definitely the type of people that I am looking to attract, to bring into my community, right? Because you will ask me the questions that will make me really dig deep into myself to test the things that I know or thought I know and the things that I don't know. So shadow work is, so first let's say the shadow, our shadow, right? And I know one of the reasons why I saw that on Twitter today, it's part of my shadow work. It's part of me understanding myself, because that, hearing people say that always triggers me when I hear people say that nobody likes Black women. You know, I did okay, let me get off of that. Let me get off of that. Take that energy away from me. Let me take that energy away from me. I have Yemaya. I have Kalima with me here. Destroy all the negative energy. Let me take that energy away from me and then come back to that question. What is shadow work, right? So generally, everybody and everything has a shadow. You walk out, you see your shadow. But then we are not that shadow. That shadow is a reflection of us. Shadow work is everything that I have been talking about so far, is reflecting back to our shadow. And our shadow is who we used to be, or who we are now, that is not our higher self. If you look online, look on YouTube, especially the person that I can, who should you go to? Two people. There's Tail Swan, and Queen Pole. We dive in deep. We dive in very deep today. There's Tail Swan, and there's also Queen Pole. Right? Those two, find their videos on shadow work and memorize what they say. So our shadow is part of the unconscious. There's also Queen Cup. I love Queen Cup. Queen Cup is a Canadian Jamaican, you know, going back to her African ancestry, very powerful woman spiritually. She even does retreats in Jamaica, something that I want to be a part of. So who we used to be before, who we were, that it is not our highest self. The life we were living before, or even the life that we are living right now, that we know we need to transcend, we need to let go of, in order to come into who we know ourselves to be, into our God self. A lot of people don't want to be called gods, depending on their religion and how they were taught about their religion. I was one of those people. I saw God as something either above, or it didn't matter what I do, I was going to hell, because that's how I was raised, right? I was listening to a Real Kim talk yesterday, and she was talking about how for her as well, what she has was church hurt. I had mosque her, like in the Islamic side of things. And she was saying that she always thought that she was going to hell. If she watched TV, whatever she walked past, she was going to hell. I dated Christian men, and I was constantly told that I was going to hell. If I walk past someone, I don't greet them, I'm going to hell. If I eat Christian food, I'm going to hell. If I date Christian men, I'm going to hell. The best relationships I had were from Christian men. So I've been told all of this. So that was a part of my shadow because it came from unconscious parents. So an aspect of us that we are not able to see. Great morning, coach. Great morning, my coach. Thank you for joining me today. So your shadow is a part of you that you're either running away from or you're fearful of, right? Or you don't want to look into. So if you look at your life right now, wherever you are, you brought yourself there. So depending on if you walked on your shadow, depending on if you are very much aware of your shadow, you might not believe in the life that you want to live. Me, right? I'm not living the life that I want to live right now. Why? Because I was never aware of my shadow. When somebody triggers you, and then you just lose your mind, what they're triggering is your shadow, is your pain body, is that aspect of yourself that you are not in touch with, right? So they're not just triggering you because they want to trigger you. They themselves probably don't even know their shadow. A lot of people don't know what shadow work is. Your higher self is when you integrate that shadow, that aspect of you that you are scared of and afraid of, with who you are, who you know yourself to be. You integrate them together, and then you just become this very much divine being, right? If you look at Coach Stormy, what Coach Stormy is doing right now, yes, what Coach Stormy is doing right now, she is integrating that. She is bringing who she used to be from the beginning of her business, before her business, her childhood. She is bringing in that to the woman, to the powerful woman that she knows herself to be, right? So when you really understand that, nothing phases you. I always talk about Andrew Tate because I am in his school. You can find the links, me being in his community, learning content creation, but at the same time, understanding myself as a woman, as a feminine woman, surrounded by men. And he has a word that he is constantly saying, which is unfazed. He is unfazed. Why? He has integrated his shadow, his demon, the person that he used to be when he had a webcam business, when he was a kickboxing world champion, to the spiritual man that he is right now, right? Because he teaches a lot of spirituality, but I know people don't see that. They still see his shadow, who he used to be. But being in his school, I am able to see how he has brought those things together, right? And your shadow is powerful. If we don't run away from our shadow, if we integrate our shadow, that's so much power. And it's so fascinating that I'm talking about power today because, I've been calling on High John the Conqueror. You can look up High John the Conqueror. It's a Black ancestor, a Black god, right? From slavery, before slavery and all of that. And he embodies power. So what we are talking about today, when we bring all those aspects of ourselves together, when we are in love with our demons in the mind, right? Because demons, and for me at least, I don't see demons anymore or evil anymore as something else or someone else or at night, the ghosts that are going to come to me. No, the mind, the thoughts that we think, the things that are not good for us, but we have no idea that they are not good for us, right? YouTube, if you're hearing me, let me know. Let me know in the comments that you can hear me. Because I've been having this issue these days of people on YouTube not being able to hear me. So please do let me know. And so let me go back to this. Shadow work journal prompts for healing, right? I'll start with the first one. And this I posted in Girl Hold My Hand. I don't have my Girl Hold My Hand link yet. But when I do, you can use that link to join Girl Hold My Hand, because I'll be posting all these messages there and then use them every day when we do our lives, right? So shadow work journal prompts for healing. The first one that we'll be looking at is, how would your authentic self behave versus your people-pleasing self? Take a moment and think about that. If you had everything that you wanted today, great morning, great morning. Let's transform. Let's transform. If you had everything that you wanted in your life today, if money was not an issue, you're living in the house that you've always wanted to live, you're doing everything that you wanted to do, how would your authentic self behave versus your people-pleasing self? My people-pleasing self wanted everybody to love me, everybody to agree with me. I wanted everybody to laugh at my jokes, even though I am not funny. So I don't even try to make jokes, right? If I say something and somebody laugh, they just found it funny, but it wasn't me trying to joke. But before that, I wanted people to laugh at the things that I said. I wanted people to understand everything I did. I wanted everybody to love and like me. And if that didn't happen, I will have a mental breakdown. Why don't they understand me? Why don't they like me? Why are they not talking to me? The man that I was with, why are they not doing what I say? This is a confirmation, and I'll leave it like this, right? I wanted all of that. My authentic self now, the person that I am today, I could give less of a fuck if you don't like me and if you don't relate to me. There are people who relate to me. There are people who understand what I'm saying. And these are the people that I'm looking for, right? My authentic self today. I absolutely love Coach Stormy. People that come to my life and feel like, oh, Coach Stormy is your coach. I would say, bye. I don't need you in my life, right? I know my authentic self today. I know how listening to Andrew Tate has completely changed my life and my mindset and how I see men, because I've never came across a man who talks like this man talks. Authentic carries the highest frequency. Yes, right? You vibrate. Just your aura will drive away people who are not supposed to be in your life. So when it comes to Andrew Tate and Coach Stormy, I know how these two have really impacted my life. And so I don't care if nobody likes them or nobody listen to them. I know I will listen to these too. I know it now. You know yourself to the point that if you go to bed and you can't sleep, it's because you're so excited about what's coming. You're so excited about what's next. Not the way that I used to be, going to bed and ruminating and overthinking, right? That thing that I said to Maisha, did she like it? Will Maisha like me? Will Maisha call me tomorrow? Oh my God. Should I call Maisha? Should I text her? Should I this? Ah, I was that person. That was my people pleasing self, right? The second one, what makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? Shadow work journal prompts for healing. The first one was, how would your authentic self behave versus your people pleasing self? The second question, what makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? The second question I never knew. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just always thought I was a terrible person and I needed to change, and everything my mother said was true, and I was crazy, and and I'm not sad, and I'm just not doing enough. I'm not doing much. I have to do more. I didn't know that. Right now, I understand that. Of course, even before I came to TLC, I understood that, but now with TLC and the products and seeing how it affects me, the moment my mental health start to decline, I can see it. I mentioned here before, when I start sleeping too much or sleeping too long, or the things that I absolutely love, I'm not doing anymore. Or I'm trying to run after somebody. Like me, like me, like me, like me, love me, love me, love me, love me. I know, okay, I need to step back, right? What makes your mental health better? Now, for me, I can recognize that the environments that I am in makes my mental health better. So seeing that I need environments like Girl Hold My Hand, where I can be myself and at the same time I can grow. In my content creation campus, which is the real world, just today I posted this flyer about doing this every day. And I said that one of the problems that we have as women is that people laugh at us for being soft and feminine. Yes, yes, girl, hold my hand, People laugh at us for being soft and feminine. But because I am in the real world, and for the times that I've listened to Andrew Tate, he will constantly talk about the spiritual powers and the healing powers of a woman, right? The power of the feminine woman. He would speak about that so much. I was like, I know this. This is me. But I've always been afraid of that part of myself. And now I have Girl Hold My Hand. And that is the way that we are going. Tapping into our powers, our spiritual powers of who we are, the power of the feminine. We nurture, we give life, right? We give life. We can make or break from the food we cook, from the house we or the home we create. We can destroy someone, our 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 menstrual cycle, which is also the moon cycle. Just that is powerful enough. But for a long time, we have been told that all of these, our weakness. Feminism, feminism, feminist. I don't know. Feminist, yeah, right? Equal pay, equal this being the same as a man. What a man can do, I can do, blah, blah, blah. I don't want a man whom I can do exactly what he can do. I don't want that. I posted about a lady who was doing a comedy show in my other channel, Oracle's Place, on Instagram, and she was saying that whenever she's doing comedy shows and she's around these white girls, they would always tell her oppression this, women this, equal rights, equal pay. I want this, I want it. And she would tell them, that's cool, but I don't want that, right? I want to be a trophy wife. I want to be at home and do absolutely nothing, right? I want to be on my yacht. And if you bring me the wrong wine, I'll just kick you in the ocean. And now I'm creating jobs because people have to fetch you outside out of the ocean. But the moral of the story there is that the moment we try to be exactly like the men, that is also part of destroying our mental health, because our soul is the same as the people, but men have what they need to do in their life and who they are, and us women have what we need to do in our life and who we are and the power that we possess, right? So I want to tap into my power as a feminine woman. I want to be at home doing this, talking to beautiful women, connecting with beautiful women, while he is out there doing whatever he is doing the wars, doing the masculine stuff, right? That's why I am in the real world. Because the men are the ones doing all these fights and this and this and that. And then Andrew Tate will teach us that men are like this and like that. And the few of the women that are there, we just learn and just feel safe and good in our feminine, right? So what makes your mental health better as a woman? Because I am predominantly speaking to women, even though men are always welcome, right? We love men. I love men. You are welcome. But I'm predominantly speaking to women. What makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? Which is why the business, like Stormy will call it, Wi-Fi money, it's great for women because 9 to 5, not only is it part of the slave mind, but that masculinizes us, right? Because we have to run, wake up in the morning, get ready. I'm not bashing 9 to 5 because I have done that for a long time. Let me go on. What is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? That's for me, because procrastination is my second name. Empress Procrastination Fire. What is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? I can tell you one thing, and it has been all these days. I completed, one of them yesterday, and it has been sending the assignments in school, the balance that I had to, the work that I had to finish for my bachelor's degree, which I'll probably drop out. My yes, I completed one yesterday, but then they told me that, oh, when you started in the beginning, 2 years ago, we made a mistake, so you probably have one semester left, and you have to take another semester this coming semester in what, summer, what, fall. And I was like, listen, lady, to my advisor. I was like, listen, I would rather drop out, right? I would rather drop out. My degree is Afrocentric consciousness. I made up that degree because I wanted to learn about myself. And I also needed the credentials of saying that I have learned that. But the more I develop in my spiritual power, I know I don't need the degree paper or the name in itself, right? Because my ancestors were healers and they never had a degree. So I was like, listen, I am not going this fall. I'm taking some classes now. I'm taking classes in the real world. I am in Cardone University learning to sell, which is all a part of psychology, all a part of understanding myself. If you can add those to the credits of my school credits for me to get my bachelor's degree is wonderful. If not, I am not coming next fall. But I can tell you the assignments that I sent in yesterday, I have been procrastinating about those assignments for a whole semester, which is 6 months. Why? Because school, I told one of them that being is one thing that's not in school, it has no soul. There's no soul in the curriculum. And you know, blackness is all about soul. Africanness is all about the soul, feeding the soul. Right. And I didn't feel that about school, which is something that I never knew until I came back to school. And I was like, oh, now I understand why I love learning, but I don't like school is because there's no soul into it. It sucks the life out of you because learning is supposed to feed you, not drain you. What is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? For me, it's this. But before this awareness of who I am, I would procrastinate about everything. Saying how I feel, doing this lives here, talking, telling somebody to just fuck off. I would never be able to do that. What should I say? What should I tell them? Where should I go? Who should I be? What should I eat? To the point that I would be asking people, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Right? There's this lady, I always forget this lady's name, who talks about procrastination, that it's a habit. You're used to putting things off until tomorrow, used to it. Put things off. And then the more you procrastinate, the less you can commit to your own dreams and who you are. This white lady, why do I always forget her name? But she also went through a lot of trauma and she teaches about it. The name will come back to me or I will find her. Let's go to number 4. Ooh, what scares you the most? What scares you the most? Let me recap because that's a beautiful question. Shadow work, journal prompts for healing. How would your authentic self behave versus your people-pleasing self? What makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? What is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? What scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? Everything has scared me. My spiritual power scared me. And it's funny that I'm reading these questions because today I actually did something that I've always been scared of. And let me read it for you. In the beginning, I spoke about this guy who is on social media trying to get engagement. and trying to get engagement by destroying the name of black women, right? Because the moment you say why men don't want to date black women, everybody's like, yes, 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 we don't this and that, masculine this, masculine that. So one thing that I did today, which is I just put out there my spiritual power, right? The energy of High John the Conqueror. Look him up. High John the Conqueror. Just his energy of power, because I've been thinking about him and, calling in my own power. Find your way back. We have been talking about this. Coach Stormy has been talking about this. So me finding my way back is really embodying that spiritual power. So I wrote him something on his post. Let me read it for you. If you don't know spiritual warfare, let me get my camera together here on YouTube. Hey, YouTube fan, I loves you, right? So one thing, if you don't know what spiritual warfare is, if you don't know what back to sender is, please look it up, right? Because that's a spiritual power that we have. It is a part of the things that people call demon, evil, or people demonize religious folks or so. But knowing your power, knowing your spiritual power is very important. But at the same time, being able to clear yourself off of negative energy, it's also a very powerful aspect of spirituality, regardless of your religion, right? So when you understand spiritual warfare and when you're able to do spiritual warfare and get into that energy of back to sender, if you're Christian, is in the Bible, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Part of spiritual warfare and back to sender. You're sending that energy back to whoever is throwing it to you, right? A lot of pastors pray spiritual warfare prayers because it's deliverance. In Islam as well, reading the Quran constantly is part of spiritual warfare because you're protecting yourself and shielding yourself. When you're constantly in Zen, in Zen monasteries and meditating and all of these things, the more aware you get, is a spiritual warfare, because the more aware your mind is, the more open your mind is, the less you're being taken away, I would say, by these negative energies. So something that I am scared of. So I wrote this guy. I said, may the ancestors and the universe have their way with you. As you sit there destroying us for engagement, may Allah destroy your business and life. He's Muslim, one of those Israeli Dubai men whom are like, I'm Muslim, but they're not really Muslim, because if you're a true Muslim, you don't destroy another. So I said, we send back to you every evil arrow you sent to us. May your business and life never prosper. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful. Today is the end of your business. Today, your business and reputation will end. May Allah never show you mercy. I call on my ancestors to destroy you. You will not prosper by tarnishing us. That was me showing my spiritual powers, that I know what I'm saying, right? That I can speak life into you, but at the same time, if you are sending me negative energy, I can curse you. I've always been afraid of that. I've always known how to do that, but I've always been afraid of that until I heard the saying be gentle as a dove. I think that's from the Bible. I'm sorry if it's not. Be gentle as a dove, right? But be deadly as a serpent. Mamiwata as a serpent, right? The snake. So don't do bad to others, but if somebody sends you negative energy, send it right back to them. I've always been scared of that. So for you that is watching me and listening to this today, you might have something that you're scared of. I've always been scared of. Is it being seen? Is it being heard? Is it being loud? I'm not talking about obnoxious loud. Coach Stormy was talking about this, right? I'm not talking about the toxic way of being, but do you have a talent? Do you have a power? Is there something that you truly love, that you are good at, that you can do, but you're scared of your power? Are you scared of people disliking you? I was scared of people disliking me. What are you scared of? Right? The question is, what scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? What can you do today on this day, 17 July 2023, that scares the life out of you, but it can also transform your life completely? Number 5, question 5. What are my biggest fears and how I can walk through them? What are my biggest fears and how can I walk through them? Right? This covers everything about shadow work, because shadow work is all about the things that we are afraid of. So what is it that you are afraid of? And how can I walk through them? How can you walk through them? How can you walk through your fears? Are you afraid of starting a business? Are you afraid of going live like I am going live? Are you afraid of talking about these issues? Are you afraid of looking crazy? All right, I have something here. I think I can show it on Instagram, but I don't know how I can show it on YouTube. So YouTube, forgive me. Right? On Instagram, the more you know, the crazier you look. I'd have to turn the comments off. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. You forget it. Forget it. Where else did I post it? Oh, beautiful. Do I have it here? Let me see. I might not. Right? The more you know, the crazier you look. Oh, it's on my WhatsApp. I can read it from there. Let me read this for you. Right? Because it is important. Okay, let's go. More you know. What? Like, the more you know, the crazier you look. People love you more when you are ignorant and surrendered towards them. But the moment you start observing, questioning, analyzing, and seeking the absolute truth, you are considered crazy, weirdo, who isn't normal and doesn't fit into their social norms. Right? So if we go back to the question, which is, what are my biggest fears and how can I walk through them? Are you afraid of looking crazy? How can you walk through that? The only way you can walk through that is to look crazy. I was afraid of looking crazy, afraid that if I say these things, I would look crazy. People will not understand what I'm saying. What are you scared of? What are your biggest fears? Is it because you think you're too flawed to have influence? But then listening to real Kim talk yesterday, she was saying because of that, those flaws, right? God will give you the power to speak to people because you know how it feels. I was scared of everything. I was scared of myself. I was scared of breathing too loud in a place because they're going to say, why is she breathing like that? I was scared that when I'm eating, you know, if it's too noisy, people are going to whatever. I don't even know. I was scared of everything. Shadow work. Are you scared of your shadow? Of who you used to be, whoever you used to be? What are you scared of? What is your biggest fear? And how can you walk through them? How can you walk through them? Are you listening to people who feed your soul? Are you listening to people who pour into you? What type of music do you listen to? How is your environment? How is your home? What are the people around you making you scared of or helping you grow into? That's number 5. And then we go to number 6, right? What false beliefs am I holding onto and how can I challenge them? What false beliefs am I holding onto and how can I challenge them? Do you believe, and I know this might trigger some people, right? But always know that trigger heals us. If something is triggered into you, that means it has to be healed. Do you believe in religion so much so that you think your religion is the best? I came from that kind of family, right? Do you believe that if people don't act like you and talk like you and behave like you, then they are less than? What do you believe? Do you believe that your mindset is the way to go and you can never change? You can never, people just don't understand you. People come for you. You believe that you are the shit. And there's nothing wrong with believing in that, but with humility, not ego. What do you believe? What's stopping you? What do you believe? Do you believe that you need a whole team before you go live? That was me. That's an inner battle. Yes. Johnny with Kia, hello. Hi. Nice to see you here. The other day, I responded to you and I said, welcome home. And I mean that from the depths of my soul. Because one thing we do here is creating a home for people who never felt at home. I never felt at home, right? And I wanted to say again, thank you for the question that you asked in that meeting. Because I don't have a family. I cut off my mom. I'm not in touch with my dad. I cut off everybody. I don't have friends anymore. Because just like I wake up every day and cleanse my body, I also had to cleanse my mind. And in cleansing that, I had to cleanse my entire cycle, right? So you are not alone in that journey of no friends and no family. And this is why here we bring together people, right? Create the home that we never had and create a home for everybody who needs a home. So let's go back. Let me recap. Shadow work journal prompts for healing. We are on the 6th question, but if we go back to 1 is How would your authentic self behave versus your people pleasing self? I was a people pleaser. What makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? Are you aware when your soul feels like it's dying? Are you aware when you feel like your mental health, you're starting to go down the rabbit hole? Can you see it? Can you feel it? And do you know when it starts? Because then you can stop it before it starts. But if you're not aware, like who I used to be, I just go right down the rabbit hole. Right? Yes. Okay. So number 3, what is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? What is it? What is something that you need to do, but you're not doing? That saying of, right? I knew better, but I didn't do better. What is it that you know you have to do, that you need to take care of, that you are not doing? For me, it was my schoolwork. And I sent it finally yesterday, right? I've been sitting on that for 6 months. But then this professor is just wonderful. Number 4, what scares you the most? What scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? Doing this live scared me so much. My coach, Brittany Turner, will not take no for an answer. Tell your story. Talk about your story. Talk about what you know. Failing my children, that scares the life out of me. Hey, because I see it. I see how my mother failed us. I was suicidal and didn't know it. My sister, I hope she figured it out now, was suicidal. My sister is 8 years younger than me, and she looks 10 years older than me. She gained so much weight. Yeah, she gained so much weight because, and the funny thing is, my mother will compare us. She would tell her, oh, look at your sister. She is so slim and tiny, not knowing that we handle these things differently. Majority of the time when I'm depressed and my mental health is not on par, I don't eat. My sister, when she is depressed, she eats. So we are fighting the same battle, but we just go different ways. And my mother couldn't see it. Right? Failing your children. And for me, one thing that I've always said to myself, that I still say, is that I am not going to be like my mother. I am not my mother. When I have a child, and now I do have a child, I am going to raise my child differently than I was raised. And this is what keeps me going to the point of being able to talk about these things, because I know if I can document them, right? Even if she grows up and cannot find my videos, one day, somewhere, somehow, somebody will sit her down and say, these are the things that your mother used to say. And I hope she finds my videos. So what scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? If failing anybody scares you, especially your children, what can you do today? How can you talk to them differently? How can you act around them differently? How can you make them feel loved today? Show them a type of love that scares you, that you could never tap into, right? That could be apologizing, that could be explaining things, that could be telling them. One thing that scared my mother was telling us her life experiences for us to learn from. And she thought hiding those from us was the best thing for us. And it just ended up destroying the family. So I tell my experiences to my daughter, no matter how embarrassed that I feel. Number 5, what are my biggest fears and how can I walk through them? The shadow work, which is the spiritual journey, whatever you believe in, right? Spirituality is completely different from religion. I posted something today. We are spiritual beings. Spirituality is our soul. Religion is what we're told or we're raised into, or however it is said, right? So something is wrong with my, oh, okay. Spiritual enlightenment transcends religion. It transcends thought. It transcends mind and its senses. And it conveys a level of wisdom and knowledge about life and the universe that is unparalleled. Parallel. I can't say that word. Unparalleled. Parallel. That's tongue twisted. Indoctrination, right? The programming, the mental programming, right? What false beliefs am I holding onto and how can I challenge them? What are my biggest fears and how can I walk through them? Those two are very important. What do you hold? Basically, what's keeping you stuck? Because whatever's keeping you stuck is a belief which can be changed. But do you believe that you cannot change your belief? Because maybe you feel if you change your belief, you will be considered crazy. That was me. I didn't want to change my belief, the way I dress. I didn't even, it took me forever to even use the name Empress because I thought people would say, what makes you think she's an Empress? The Shadow Work Journal. Yes. I just completed my 2 years of therapy. So yeah, the Shadow Work Journal, right? Fascinating that today we are doing journal prompts. I don't know if you are in Hold My Hand, but if you're not, if you want, I can share this with you too, right? 14 questions, right? What false beliefs am I holding on to and how can I challenge them? Many a time I felt too skinny, but then I came across women who felt too big, too fat, however you want to call it. I look down upon myself. When I go to reggae parties, dancehall parties, soca parties, and everybody got their butt jiggling, and I am there looking like a stick, and I'm like, ugh, I don't belong here. But that's a false belief, right? I always had this false belief of perfectionism. I had to be a certain way. I had to talk a certain way, even doing these lives, right? I am not very extroverted, which is why I love NRG. I haven't taken mine today yet, but this is my normal energy. This is me. This is normal me, right? But I've always felt, who's going to listen to me talking like this? I have actually been told you need more energy and you need more fire when you're doing your lives, because if not, people will not listen to you. And because of hearing that false belief, it took me forever before I came to do this, even though these are all information that I knew already. But I was scared. People are not going to relate to me because I am not as energetic as Coach Stormy. But that takes us back to embracing the divine feminine. I had to tap into that. You're doing amazing. Thank you. right? I had to tap back into the divine feminine, which is who I am. Understanding that this is me, and people who are attracted to me would come because they need whatever I have to give. So the false beliefs that we hold keep us stuck. Number 7, what is the root cause of my anxieties and how can I heal them? I always say that, the things that I'm talking about, even though you are watching me on YouTube, you're watching me on Instagram, and you relate to this, and it's a dialogue at the same time, it's a monologue for me. I don't have a knife. I need a knife. But hey, I am ratchet and cute. I am hood and holy. I'm going to use my pen, honey. Right? Ratchet but cute. So, what is the root cause of my anxieties and how can I heal from them? I'm not telling you anything that I am this expert. I am going through every single thing that I talk about. And so, if when I speak, I'm speaking to myself at the same time. So, how to heal your anxiety? I love eating salad. I cannot eat 10 bowls of salad in a day. NutriBurst helps, right? Just a tablespoon, a cup is equals to 10 bowls of salad. Helps with my appetite. Part of healing my anxiety, right? It's when I'm depressed and all of that. I am either stuffing my face with ice cream or I don't eat anything at all. Yeah. Yeah. So number 7 is, what is the root cause of my anxieties and how can I feel them? Do you know what gives you anxiety? For me, going back to the people pleasing, I need to wash this cover. People pleasing gave me anxiety. Wanting everybody to love me gave me anxiety. Trying to control everyone and everything. Of course, it makes us anxious. For me, that's what it was. I wanted to control the men and the women in my life. I wanted to control everything because I didn't want anything to go wrong. I just wanted everything to work the way that it has to work. It has to happen. It has to work. It cannot break down because I have a history of breaking down. Why do I have a history of breaking down? Because I've always been around people who broke down. I've always been around people who try to control everything, right? Who never go with the universal laws, who themselves don't understand the universal laws, who are trying to control the people, control the things, control everything. You can control the food you eat. You can control what you think. You can control who you become. You can control an aspect of your destiny. Those we have the power to control. Control, or trying to control and be controlling, gives us anxiety. Gives me an anxiety, right? Not us, but gives me anxiety. So I needed to see that. So for you, what is the root cause of your anxiety? And how can you heal it? I'm sorry, I need to do this. Right? What is the root cause of your anxiety? How do you see yourself? What do you think? Do you even know that you have anxiety? Right? That's a good question. Do you even know that you have anxiety? Number 8, what is the source of my recent negative behavior and how can I change it? What is the source of my recent negative behavior and how can I change it? Can you change it? One negative behavior that I had was that not only could I not take feedback, but I always wanted to get back at everybody who tells me something. So always wanting to have the last word, always wanting to just chop the head off of somebody. And to get over that negative behavior, I had to tap back into the power of my ancestor, the power of my grandmother. I had to tap back to that and see that one of the negative energy that I carry is that I wanted to get back at everybody and I didn't want to let go. I couldn't let go. I was just holding on to things. Why did they do that to me? Right? That was a negative energy. And one thing my grandmother always taught me to do was how to ignore. And the moment you're able to ignore the noise and the chaos, you tap back into yourself, tap back into the positive energy that you had. So my grandmother passed, but I had to tap back to what she taught me of being able to ignore things, let go, not be phased about everything. For me, that was a negative energy that I have. Why? Because of the way I was raised, because of the trauma that I was raised with. Because my uncle used to hit me, whoop me every single day, regardless of what I did. I could clean the entire house and he might not like how it is, and that would be a whooping. Or I could be mopping in the house and it's wet, and then he will come and step on it with his feet or his shoes and it will make it dirty. Why? Just to trigger me. But he was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. So now I had to see that about myself. Not be triggered. Or when I'm triggered, I come back to myself to understand that the thing that is triggered in me needs to be healed. What is the source of my recent negative behavior and how can I change it? Number 9, what is the cause of my unhealthy patterns and how can I break them? Breaking the generational curse. What unhealthy patterns do you have? What is something that you know in your life that needs to change? What is something that you do that's not helping you at all? What is the cause of my unhealthy patterns and how can I break them? What is something that your mom used to do that you do now? Your father used to do that you do now, but it's not helping you? What is something that is a family tradition or a family whatever that your family do, but you know it's not helping you and you know it's not good for you, but you still do? What is that? What is something that needs to change? Do you have destructive habits? Destructive habits can be anything. It can be substance abuse, right? Drinking too much alcohol. I did that. Smoking too much. I did that. Using hard drugs. I did that. Using sex as a weapon. I did that. Using sex to suit yourself because nothing suits you. Destructive habits. So what is it that you do that is destroying your life, which is an unhealthy pattern that you know it needs to change, even if you don't know, but you know you need to change something. So what is that something that you need to break? Do you eat too much? Do you stay up way too late, unproductively, and then wake up way too late when the day is over? Right? Like Andrew Tate will call them the losers and the brokies. I was one of them. I was one of them. What is the cause of my unhealthy patterns and how can I break them? Where do these patterns come from? Have you ever done self-reflection? Have you ever looked at your family to understand the generational causes and things that are happening in your family that you need to break? Because if you are listening to me, if you are watching me, and you relate to the things that I say, you have been called to break the generational curse in your family. If not, you will not listen to me and you will not relate to me because I am a generational curse breaker. The things that I talk about, I am the first to talk about them in my family. If there's anybody else who did, I don't know. Right? But for me, it's like tapping back into my ancestry. So what is that? What is that for you? The next one. Oh, I talked about this, right? I mentioned this. What triggers my feelings of unworthiness and how can I overcome them? What triggers my feelings of unworthiness and how can I overcome them? Do you feel unworthy? Do you feel like you're not good enough? Nothing you do is good enough? Do you feel like you're not a good person? Do you hate yourself? Do you hate who you are? What triggers your unworthiness? Who is it in your life that I've told you you are unworthy? Oh my God, I'm trying to do this here on YouTube to pin it. Ugh. How do you do this? I can't. I'm gonna leave it like that. All right. So what is that when you unworthiness? What makes you feel unworthy? Who makes you feel unworthy? Who makes you feel unworthy? Who, right? What triggers my feelings of unworthiness and how can I overcome them? Where did those triggers come from? If you look back in your family, if you look back in who you used to be, if you look back into your childhood, what were you told that makes you unworthy, right? YouTube, I'm looking at you, right? Instagram, hi. Look at yourself and look at who you are. I know for me personally, what made me feel unworthy or the feelings that triggers unworthiness is because my entire life, my mother told me constantly over and over and over that I would not amount to nothing. I don't know if she meant it. Maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe she didn't even know what she was saying. I believe she didn't know what she was saying. I believe she didn't know how to speak life into her kids. And so maybe nobody ever spoke life into her. So she doesn't know how to speak life into people, especially us, her children. A lot of people don't know how to speak life into someone. What I am doing now, it might hurt, it might be painful for you to be watching me or even watch the video for this long, but I am speaking life into you because these are things that you can take and run with and really change your life and change yourself and change who you are. And this is not a video for everybody. I am not for everyone. I know that I am going to attract a particular set of people, and I know who these people are, right? So, what triggers your feelings of unworthiness, and how can you overcome it? Do you use affirmation to reassure yourself, to believe in yourself again, right? If you were always told, like for me, my mother used to tell me that I would be a prostitute or I was a prostitute. Now that is something that I had to change to believe in myself again, to take back my power, right? To find my way back. I had to do that. So what is it that you can do to see those patterns, to look at the voice that's in your head? Whose voice is it? And what is the cause of your unhealthy patterns? How do you break them? And what triggers your feelings of unworthiness? You can overcome them maybe with therapy plus prayers, therapy plus, the power of the ancestors, re- therapy plus meditation, a combination of all of these things. I have had to use all of them, right? Number 11, what are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? We all have unresolved issues from the past, things that we don't want to let go of, like I just talked about. I didn't want to let go of things, right? I was holding on to them and I didn't even know I was holding on to them. That's even the most painful one, right? You're holding on to something and you don't even know that you're holding on to this. So what are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? Because if you have unresolved issues from the past, right, this could be old relationships that were traumatic. This could be family issues that never worked for you. This could be people in your life who traumatized you, friends, relationships, partnerships. But then you bring all of those into who you are today, and the relationships that you're creating now is going to destroy you. And it's going to destroy your relationships. Interestingly enough, this morning in Wake Up and Win, as well as meditation in Girl Hold My Hand, we talked about this, bringing unresolved issues and unresolved trauma into who you are today, right? What issues did you have in the past when it came to business partners, when it came to romantic relationships, when it came to friendships, when it comes to issues with your family that you are bringing in to who you are today that's not serving you right? And how can you heal them? I'll give you a story. One of the things that I did, one of my, she's a cousin or something, but I call her an older sister. She's older than me. I don't have an older sister, but I call her an older sister. And she lives in Nashville. And we had a little bit of an altercation, a little bit of a misunderstanding. Why? Because I didn't understand that I was depressed and suicidal and all these things. I didn't know that because I was constantly listening to the things that my mother was telling me. Not only was I destroying my life, at the same time, I was pushing people away. I talked about this in my other videos, but I didn't know this. I couldn't see it, right? So she also wasn't aware of whatever was going on with her mentally and in her life. So we had a little bit of an altercation. And that started when I saw that the husband was coming on to me, and I couldn't tell her because that space of me being honest wasn't created. She didn't create it. I didn't create it. I didn't feel that safety within myself and in the environment to say, hey, heads up, your husband is doing this. So at that time, I was having issues with my daughter's father. So I went to her house to stay there. I was pregnant as pregnant could be. But then when the husband started doing that, maybe one day she would see this. I hope she does. When the husband started coming on to me, I forced myself to leave. Even though I had no money, I had nowhere to go or nothing to do. I kept telling her, I need a place on my own. I need a place on my own. That when I got the place, the husband followed me, of course, and that made things even worse. And that's funny because I was pregnant. And she was helping me pay the rent. And because I was pregnant, I told her, just continue helping me pay the rent. And then when I give birth, I swear to you that I will pay you back. And I was ready to do that. But I don't know whatever happened previously in her life, or how much people have whatever happened, that stop that came back into our relationship. Her unresolved issues and my unresolved issues together destroyed our relationship to the point that I was pregnant and homeless. I just gave birth to my daughter. No family, no friends, anybody. She was my only hope at that point. But she didn't unresolve her issues. I didn't unresolve my issues. Us together, plus my mother's voice in my head, yeah, we completely just destroyed everything. So I was evicted and getting kicked out from that place, lost my place. And then a group of women in Nashville saved me, right? How did I heal that? What are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? When I sat down and did the reflection, started the deeper healing journey of understanding why I am the way I am and why I do the things that I do, I went back to her. At this point, she has divorced and she experienced the betrayal and the depression and the grief. And so when you go through the pain, I just posted about that. That's so interesting, right? The post that I made on the last post that I made on my Instagram, it says, you learn faster when it hurts. So she went through the hurt now. She went through the pain that I have already went through and is healing from. So now we were able to come to a common ground. We were able to heal the unresolved issues we had, right? Because I went back to her and I was able to sit with her and I was able to talk to her and say, this is what I noticed. This is my self-reflection. This is what happened. This is what I went through. And then she said, yes, now I understand. I went through this. Her father died. The father-in-law died, right? The husband was cheating, of course, because I knew that already, but I couldn't tell her. all of these things. So we were able to come to a common ground and heal our relationship because I need her. She might not need me, right? Because she has a family. We are an extended family, but I know that I need her. And I wanted to heal that relationship. And the only way I could heal the relationship or our relationship was for me to be completely honest and open to her and transparent. Being able to do that helped my communication skills to able to be for me to be able to say, hey, this is what is going on. So what are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? What are your that is watching on Instagram? What are your that is watching on YouTube? Unresolved issues from the past and how can you heal them? Number 12, we have two more and then we're done. Number 12, what is the source of my inner pain and how can I release it? Breaking that generational curse. What is the source of your inner pain? Is this the environment you are in that was for me? Is it the people that you listen to that was for me? Are you looking for validation and looking for love in all the wrong places? I was that person. What is the source of my inner pain? Childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences. How were you raised? How did your parents talk to you? Number 13, what is the lesson I need to learn from my current struggle and how can I grow from it? Your current struggle, what are you struggling with? One of my biggest struggles, like many of us, is finances, is money, is understanding money, knowing what money is, right? The paper, money is a paper. There's that saying that money is a paper. And hair, nail, skin, I should try this one. I haven't started this. I'm growing my locks. I'm taking hair, nails, and skin. Of course, you can find the link in my bio. You can DM me. I am going to try that one and take it with my blossom me. It's all the way there. Oh, sorry, people. Blossom me. Overall women's health. I need these products. I need to take them. And because I use them, I sell them. You can find them in the link in my bio. Comment under the video and I can help you with the process. Like Queen Poe would say, can you hear me swallow? Can you hear the water going now? Let me do it again. I love Queen Poe. I love these women. They've really helped me come out of my shell just by watching them. I always talk about Shira 7, ratchet but cute. I love Shira. What is the source of my inner pain and how can I release it? What is the lesson I need to learn from my current struggle and how can I grow from it? What is the cause of my self-sabotage and behavior and how can I overcome it? We've talked about all of these, right? And if you're not in Girl Hold My Hand, right, check the link in my bio and join Girl Hold My Hand because I'll be posting these things there and then come out and we talk about it. Shadow work journal prompts. I'll just summarize. I did very good today. It's 12:25. I scheduled this for 2 hours because I realized I talk for 2 hours. I didn't know I could talk for 2 hours. But I listened to Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate does 5-hour podcasts. And I listened to Shira 7. Shira does 3 hours of her stuff. I didn't know I could do that. So let's recap and then end it there. I need to eat some food. Get some salad, my last bowl of salad. Shadow work journal prompts for healing. How would your authentic self behave versus your people-pleasing self? What makes your mental health better? When do you notice a decline in your mental health? What is something that you have been procrastinating on and why? What scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? And for me, that was publishing my spiritual powers on Twitter. But I saw one of the girls retweeted it. I was like, yes, baby. Black women fighting the fight together. Let's go on. What scares you the most? What can you do today that scares the crap out of you? Tapping more into my spiritual power. So there's a huge chance that after this, I'll be listening to Shira, Asher Goddess. What are my biggest fears and how can I walk through them? What false beliefs am I holding on to and how can I challenge them? What is the root cause of my anxieties and how can I heal them? What is the source of my recent negative behavior and how can I change it? What is the cause of my unhealthy patterns and how can I break them? What triggers my feelings of unworthiness and how can I overcome them? What are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? What are my unresolved issues from the past and how can I heal them? What is the source of my inner pain and how can I release it? What is the lesson I need to learn from my current struggle and how can I grow from it? And the last one is, what is the cause of my self-sabotaging behavior and how can I overcome it? All right, there are 14 journal prompts that you can use in your journal. You can reflect on, you can do meditation on about, right? And then the ladies who are in Girl Hold My Hand, you can come back to this video and watch it. Go into the group and find the prompts because I posted it there and just take maybe a whole day, 30 minutes, 1 hour, or the entire day and reflect on those prompts. Because when we heal our children, we heal our family, we heal our loved ones, we heal the masculine, the divine masculine that is coming into our life. Some people say soulmate, the one, whatever you believe in. We heal our ancestors as well, right? Because like I always say, if you relate to what I'm saying, if you relate to me and the things that I talk about, understand that you are a generational course breaker, right? Which means the assignment on your life is much bigger. It means that you have a huge assignment on your life because I am a generational course breaker. The things that I talk about, the things that I record on my channels, the things that I share, I have never seen anybody in my family talk about them and share them, which is why I am in the communities that I am in, which is why I use the products that I use, right? I am not in TLC, or I don't just sell TLC products. I use them, but I also share how to use them in the healing journey. Hello, hi, welcome. Right? So healing yourself is basically you being able to integrate your shadow, who you used to be, the part of you that you're scared of, the part of you that you don't want anybody to know, right? When lights are out, nobody's around, and it's you alone in bed, that person that's there with you, that you are hiding from the world, when makeup is off, there is no makeup, right? When you're talking and your head tie falls, that's you. When you're able to integrate that person with your divine being, with who you know yourself to be, then you tap into your higher self, that person who doesn't care, right? I would have been very embarrassed of myself today wearing this and being in the middle of the live and my head tie just fell. Or the fact that I am around women who have smooth skin and we're using the same product, Perfect Stem Collection, and I still have breakouts to walk through. You can see it. I don't know if you YouTube, you can see it. Things that I have to walk through. I would have been embarrassed of that. I would have been scared of that, coming on live and doing things like that. So when you heal, you become a whole different person. People say you change, but you didn't change. You just awoke. You just awakened. And I'm not talking about woke, as society puts it. Awaken. Something in you woke up. This is why I use these products. I don't just use them for the hype, but I needed to bring myself back to life. And these products help me bring myself back to life. Right. So this is the end of it. I am Empress Fire. If you knew me before, that is the old me that you knew. I am a whole different person. And my vision in life is to create a home for those who never felt at home. I'll see you back here tomorrow.